Hey guys, how's it going? I'm Sword TV Gamer, and I'm gonna give you some one-on-one time with me. You can call me Kenny, you can call me Sword TV Gamer, whatever you want to call me. It's all good. I just want to hang out with you, man. I just remember this comment on Silent Hill 2 remake is on my mind video that I made that somebody said, and it warmed my heart. Said that this felt like me hanging out with a buddy on Discord late at night, just talking about feelings and emotions of these games and stuff. And that's exactly what I want to do in some of my videos. That's what I want. That's all I wanted since I've been uploading. I just been wanting to be able to talk to people and see people comment. And it's so hard to find that. But lightning in the bottle, I just end up uploading that video and it happened. And to tell you how emotional, I got emotional. To tell you how emotional would be kind of embarrassing, but I was on the verge of crying and joy because I was like, oh my god, like I did something. I did something and I got what I was hoping for, which is you guys. Just leaving comments, subscribing too. Some of you did that. Like I love the likes, I love the comments because that gets more people to do the same thing, to talk and communicate with me about their feelings, their thoughts, their excitement about Silent Hill 2. And I hope we can do this again at some point, but it only happens when everything is aligned. I'm not purposely trying to make it happen over and over again, but I do look forward to the next time that happens, and maybe this is another video that does that. But guys, Dark Souls, without further ado, Dark Souls has been on my mind. Bro. Bro, this game, like all the games, I'm playing all of them. They're on my mind. And I wanted to touch base on why. Um I'm going through a lot right now. You know how it is. Like sometimes you get in a cycle where like every day is kind of a struggle and you wonder like when is it going to get better? When am I going to feel better? And I've been dealing with that for a few months. I will have like a few days where things are okay, but it's been really consistent where the wheel keeps spinning and it's just struggle and struggle. And I'm doing things like working out, eating better, hanging out with people, and just working on things, trying to find things to do that's productive and part of society and all that stuff. But there's another thing I'm doing. Playing Souls. Playing Souls, man. And without getting too much into it, when the series was first introduced, a lot of people said this game is unfair. You can check that out. There's a video, the making of Demon Souls and Dark Souls, in particular, those two. People were like, "Oh, game's impossible. Oh, game is all this stuff." And anyway, because of that mindset, of course, I take it head on. Of course, start messing with the game that people say is so hard. And I loved it, and it reminded me of life. It felt realistic to me. These games feel real to me. Sure, of course, it's very fictional. Like, if you get hit by this guy one time, I think you're done in real life. But it's pretty close. You get a hit a few times and then you die, right? If you fall, you die, stuff like that. You never come back if you die in real life, but unless you believe in reincarnation. But you get what I'm saying, right? It's relatable. I want to feel that. I want to feel like I accomplished something even more than I did working or editing or helping someone out. Like I want to feel like every step I took for the past 2 hours, I got it done, and it felt like an achievement when I beat a boss or when I got the item I was looking for, rather if it's a Titanite shard or a rare drop. It felt good. And that's another reason why I play these games, is because not only do I find these games relatable because life is hard, but it's also the achievement, the goals that I always will have when I play through the game. There's always a goal. Rather if it's okay, I want to make this build, or I want to do this thing, or I want to this thing. That's really descriptive. I want to invade. I want to help. I want to have this like speed run thing going on, or in this case, in this video, which was not intentional, was complete Blight Town without dying, the whole thing, and I did it. And it's always that. That's the thing. You always have a goal when you play this. It's kind of like an MMO. There's always something I'm doing. There's always a goal. There's always like something I'm collecting, or this quest that I want to do and get these shoulders, and wow, you know what I'm saying? Like that's why I love these games. Because it makes you feel better. There are a lot of people that have said, I've done this with my music career. And you know what's crazy is that I ended up playing piano in front of all these people, and everyone clapped and stuff like that. And the feeling I got from beating Dark Souls was better than that. Think about it, man. Some people aren't like that. Some people really don't care about games, and I get that. I get that. I'm drinking a Monster Energy low carb, by the way. That's the kind I'm drinking. But so I've been on this cycle of struggle for a while, and I needed something. One thing I'm dealing with is my vision is going in and out. It's not going blind, but some days they're really, really bad and they're burning. I ended up having to get glasses and stuff like that. I'm healing from some trauma from my eyes, and it's taking a long time. And sometimes I worry, I'm gonna go blind. Oh, I'm gonna go blind. Oh my god, like anything remotely wrong with my eyes in the moment. If I catch it, if I notice it, because sometimes I don't. But when I do, when I notice it, I freak out. I panic. It's horrible. It's horrible. I have horrible OCD about it. And I'm diagnosed with OCD. I'm not even kidding. But when I play Dark Souls, I'm not thinking about it one bit because I can't. So it's like a flow state that I'm in while I'm playing these games as well. It's the goal and the achievements and the challenge and the difficulty that's getting me into this flow state that I would be in if I went on a jog for an hour. I get in that flow state, breathe in, breathe out, good form, repeat. When I'm running or jogging, or if I'm doing a sport or something like that, flow state, man, I'm in that. Another reason why people love these games. And what else do I say? Because there's so many things about these games that are helping me, man. Like, I can't tell you how much these games mean to me. You want to know something, though? I bought Dark Souls the day it came out. But I just beat it last week. One character defect of mine is that I always tend to get distracted and do something else, or I get bored a little too early. Even if I'm like almost done with the game. I think I have started over Dark Souls more than any other game I've started over or finished. And that's saying a lot because I think I've beaten and played Mega Man X and Mega Man games all my life, and I still think I have played Dark Souls more often and started over more often than those. And I have them all. Every single Mega Man game. Long story short about that, I mean, I'll get into that one day probably, but what got me into gaming was Mega Man X3. That was the first game that I actually enjoyed and liked. And I think it was because my uncle, who brought the game over from Blockbuster, said, this is what I used to grow up playing. And for some reason, I was like in a trance, like I'm living someone else's passion or interest. Let's see why they like it so much, and then I end up liking it too. That's the thing. If you come up to me and say, "Man, this game has changed my life," I mean, and you give me all this stuff, I end up playing the game myself. I will, because I want to learn what you learned. I want to feel what you feel about that game. I want that. I'm like a weird goblin when it comes to that. Like, oh, you like that? I'm gonna like it too now. I'm gonna find a way to like it as much as you do. Final Fantasy Tactics is another game that like I didn't really pay attention to until somebody came up to me. I think it was my buddy Kai, Haiku the poet, I think, or Haikai the poet. I think it's Haiku the poet on YouTube, but he's one of the people that I follow on YouTube. He told me when I first met him that he was into these like what do you call them, like tactical RPG, Fire Emblem and Final Fantasy Tactics and Tactics Advance and stuff like that. When I heard him talk about that and how much time he spends in the game, I was like, I want to get that. So I end up getting it, end up playing it, and I just wanted to feel what he felt, and I did that with any game people told me how much they love. Like there was another guy that loved Call of Duty. That's all he did was play Call of Duty or Fallout 3. And so obviously once he's done ranting about it and he goes home, I get on my Call of Duty game, the one I have at the time, which was probably Advanced Warfighter or something, and I just played it all the time because I wanted to feel that. And I've always been like that when it comes to video games. And so well, maybe I'm doing that for you when it comes to Silent Hill or Dark Souls. I hope so. Because sometimes like you might meet a person, like you pick up a game or hear about a game and go, that's not what I about. I don't relate to that person or that game or that music. But you hear someone else start talking about it, like it's like their world. You're like, wait a minute. Is this a door that I'm willing to keep closed, or am I going to open it and go through? Yeah. That's what I love about gaming. Man, gaming, if I think about it now, would I still be able to be as kind and fun of a person if it was my life but without gaming? I don't know. I don't think so, I really don't. I think gaming has kept me from getting bitter. I mean, think about it. I mean, it's always brightened my day. Just as much as making a new friend or asking that girl out and she said yes. It's like the same thing. It's like it just brightens your day at times. I mean, granted, not every game does that for me. Most games don't really do that for me. It's just a video game. But sometimes, that's all the game does is brighten my day. It's like the best part sometimes in the day. It's usually something I do to just relax, right? But I just think about that. What about you? Like, do you think that thing in your life that you have, like the hobby or passion or skill, like what would you be without that? Like, would you still be this positive light or this strong, hardened person, whoever you are? There's all kinds of people out there. Personally, for me, I don't think I would be even on YouTube making stuff. I don't know. I think my content, if I was, would be completely different. And even though it might be successful compared to what I'm doing now, like if I just never played games but I became a content creator and I blew up, I don't think I would be a kind person that cares about you as much as I do right now, because I didn't have like the I might not have had this feeling that I grew that never goes away, by the way. This emotion, this feeling, this pull that I just want a community and friends. Like I care so much about people. Like when someone's upset, like I feel bad for them even if I don't even know them. Like I have some people on my Facebook that I know but like I don't talk to, and when I see them sad, I feel it. And actually that can really mess me up at times, to be honest with you. Like I can care a little too much at times, but with that said, let's go back to Dark Souls. So I don't like the way I feel sometimes. So I put in a game, and I happened to just try Dark Souls this time again. 13 years, never beat it. What made me beat it this time? Well, my circumstance in life. I don't feel good most of the time. But when I play Dark Souls, I don't feel that pain. I don't feel that anxiety. I don't feel that depression as strong as I do when I'm not playing it. The same thing could be said if I had a girlfriend right now. She would have done the same thing for me. But I don't have that right now. I don't have anybody like that. I've had them before, but the last one I was in, I kind of wanted to take a break, and it just, like a break from dating in general, and I just haven't gone back to it. I just recently, though, patting myself on the back here, but I just recently started looking for people again after about 2 years. It was hard. I just got in at the like a point in my life where I was like, I don't want to be with anybody. I just want to be with me and learn more about who I am as a person. I don't need any of this extra stuff right now. I need to know who I am before I put myself in front of someone else's view on a daily basis. I think that was a really good decision, to be honest with you. I needed to take some time to reflect and make some changes. So, I put on Dark Souls because my friend got tired of playing Call of Duty over and over again every night with me. And at one point I was like, "Hey, you this was Zero, by the way, Josh. Um I was like, "Do you want to play Dark Souls Remaster?" And he was like, "Oh my god, yes." If it wasn't for that response, I don't think I would be happy right now. I don't think I would have made the Silent Hill video either. But he said yes, and that in itself changed my life. That one, do you want to play Dark Souls Remaster? And so we sat down and we played through the game almost every single night. Some nights we couldn't play together because of my schedule or his schedule. And we would like level up the character that we have, but we would stay around the same level to where we can still summon each other when we get together. And if someone was behind, we would help them. I love Zero, dude. I mean, he's a great guy, man. I've known him for so long. I think I met him when I was 14 or 15. I was 15. I'm 31 now. Yeah. And We played through the whole game. It took us about a week and a half, maybe two. And the times where I wasn't with him playing the game and I was trying to find maybe, like upgrade material, like Titanite shards or something like that. Um, the moments where I'm exploring the levels and I'm going into the caves and maybe I'll beat a boss or something like that, or I'm getting this gear and I get a rare drop after rare drop. That happened a lot playing this game. And I was like, why is that happening so much more? Like, I mean, I'm not gonna just say stop, right? Like, I want the rare drops, but I've never had that much luck than I did on the previous playthrough. By the way, this isn't the character I'm talking about, by the way. But it did drop the boar helmet, though. That you kill a boar and sometimes he'll drop that helmet, but I've just noticed that lately, like, this game has been just kind of handing it to me. Maybe it's the gods of From Software or God in general. Just like, here you go. This is the time to play Dark Souls. Enjoy. You know? Whatever it is, man. Luck. Or what is it called? Like a godsend. Whatever it is. It kind of fed me just enough to keep me playing. And those moments I cherish, and I don't think I can ever have that again. Like, I want to make a new character again, just to experience that again, but I think it was lightning in a bottle. You know? That happens sometimes. Where you're playing through a game, and, like, it's like an experience like no other. Because, like, again, I have played this game so many times, but, like, this one time, with all the themes that were aligned, a bad time with life and my body in particular, and the pain I was in, and the depression, anxiety, and all that, everything was just aligned perfectly. That once I popped in the game and pressed start, it was just like, you're in this now. I got you. Whatever made that happen, thank you. Whatever. Because I tell you what, I am so happy that I didn't just keep playing Call of Duty. I love Call of Duty. I'm just glad I did something else. It wasn't really helping that much when it came to distracting me. I mean, it was enough. I mean, I played multiplayer all the time, so it was enough not to think about stuff, but it got repetitive. Kind of felt confined versus this, where it's like a whole world you explore. Linear in a way, but still practically an open world. And it was beautiful. It was a beautiful experience. And when I finished it, I killed Gwen by myself because I helped Zero fight Gwen, and we didn't know that the game makes you start over as soon as you kill Gwen and click on whatever you click on in there. I beat it, and I was kind of sad because I wanted to do that with Zero, but it's okay. It's just a cool feeling to do it with your friend. That's another reason why this aligned well, was my friend was there. I was playing with him. My brother. I hope he knows. I don't know if he'll ever watch this, but I hope he knows just how much I love him. Because I don't think I would have fallen in love with these games if it wasn't for him. And these games have helped me mental health wise a lot. I mean, look at it though. It's a melancholy game. It's dark, moody, and stuff, but it's making me feel better. it's made me look at life differently, where like even though I'm struggling and stuff like that, I can do it. I can get through Blighttown in one shot. I can get through this anxiety in one shot. You know? Uh, some pretty cool things have happened in this playthrough too, or the playthrough I did with him. And again, we'll do the New Game Plus as a Let's Play. But like we killed the wolf, I forget his name, Seth in one shot, like I did. I uploaded that. I was just goofing off and I was like executing it almost perfectly. And I said in the video, I've never fought this boss before, by the way. But I think I remember faintly that I did one time back when I first got the game. Well, actually, not when I first got the game. I think I did that in 2014 or 15. When I was going to school and stuff and studying a lot, and that was a busy time in my life. But I fought him one time with the Drake sword, I think. But that experience with Zero and just like being goofy, being like one shot, and then ended up like beating it in one go, like that was funny. And then in the video we tried to do it again for me, and I couldn't because I was helping Zero. And I just couldn't do it. It was so funny. Another thing, like there were just like these fights in the game, like we just did in one try. Like this example, it's an example as well. Like I ended up beating Qualag. Like what in one go? I have never done that. Never in my whole life have I done that in one shot. You know, one go. One shot is basically when you hit them once and they die, but in one go. How does that happen? But those moments, like I will always remember, and I'm glad that I record them and capture them at times. Like there's another moment in Dark Souls 3 that I uploaded recently. I think the video was something like why you don't or I think it was like running through catacombs was a bad idea in Dark Souls 3. That was hilarious. Like maybe it's not as funny to you guys as it is to me and Zero, who was in the video as well, but like I was like crying laughing because I was basically watching Zero lead the way, and Zero was going all over the place. He'll do that on purpose. He'll like guys, like he he will hide from me. He will literally make me go and find him sometimes. Like he'll hide and seek, even if there's enemies in the area. Not respond to me when I'm like, where are you? Except for a giggle. Who does that? You know? But like in Catacombs, I was just following him, and he was kind of like zigzagging at times and stuff, and I started getting lost, and he was like, don't stop. And I'm like, what? And I look over and he's gone, and I'm like, what does that mean? And then all of a sudden, like skeletons, purple flame, which I think was dark magic, and more skeletons, and a hole, and all that. Like I almost fell in, and they're all attacking me, and I'm panicking, and I make this noise. I think I make the noise at 1 minute in the video, where like I like dodge a skeleton from slicing down vertically onto my body. I'm pretty sure that would have killed me. And I dodge it by like a millisecond. And I make this like laugh. It's like and that noise is me basically realizing I could have died. And we end up making it. And I'm glad we end up making it to the bonfire, but I'm glad that we were able to record that, because that's a moment I will always cherish and probably talk to Zero about off and on. Send that to our friends or something, you know. Yeah, you know, That's another thing too, is like we're proud of ourselves for completing these games, and we have the proof too. A lot of people, I don't think, know this, but we ended up uh, finishing um, Elden Ring 3 times on my channel. 3 times. Basically, we were trying to get all the trophies for the game. So that's where this really started. Was Elden Ring came out and Zero was like, we can play together, and I didn't know. I felt like I was pretty bad at these games, but over time, watching how Zero plays and stuff like that, it got to the point where I was able to at least do it with him. I finished these things with him, and now look at me. I'm back, doing Blight Town without dying. That's insane. So, Dark Souls has been on my mind, and I think it's kind of like medication for me. I really feel that way. I feel like it has helped me. It's not something I'm putting in my body. It's not something that's stressing me out where it's unhealthy. It's literally just helping me. Right? And I think the beautiful thing about this game is that in the end, even though people call it impossible or unfair, it really isn't. Like, yeah, it's stressful, but like you're learning. And if you're learning, eventually you're going to get it right. 13 years. And I finally did it. And now it's all I think about. Even when I'm playing Dark Souls 2 and 3, which I'm almost done with Zero, I am still thinking about Dark Souls 1. So how did I get into this game? This series and stuff like that? Well, basically, I say this in my dedicated to Ashley Paris video. A good friend of mine passed away not too long ago, and she got me into Diablo 1, and my buddy Matthew got me into Diablo 2, so Diablo became like a huge thing in my life. And Demon Souls was introduced to me by my friend, one of my best friends, brother to me. All my friends are brothers, dude. But I love them so much. It's like they're all my brothers. I can't help it, man. But basically, he told me one day that he got a new game and he wanted to bring it over. It was called Demon's Souls. And I'm like, okay. So he brings his PlayStation 3, which he did a lot because I didn't have one. And I only had a 360. And at the time, I don't even think I had a 360 because it broke. I had an Xbox. The game I was playing was Doom 3 all the time. But basically, he ended up bringing over Demon's Souls. He's like, it's like a realistic dark fantasy where you die in a few hits. You have to be really careful. Anything can kill you. And if you die... And at this point, my brain farted and I wasn't paying attention. But he was saying how the game worked. Like the souls, the white tendency, the dark tendency in the game, and all that stuff, and invasion, and how the multiplayer works, and all that. My brain just pooped itself because my whole life games have been pretty simple, and not difficult. Like they were very easy. The games I played, like even games that I played on hard on, like Gears of War and stuff like that, on insane. Like that was so easy compared to Demon Souls. And so basically, I watched him play, and it reminded me instantly of Diablo. And the cool thing was, it was in third person. It wasn't like top down. But it had this twist to it where, like he said, that if you die and you didn't get back to your body, then you lose what you had. The souls, the currency anyway, not your equipment and stuff, but yeah. And I was like, what in the world? So basically, like, if I kill things and stuff and get a lot of souls and I die and I don't get back to my body, I literally will lose all of that. Even if I spent like 3 hours, it's like, yes. Sometimes you have to decide, should I stop now and go level up and do it again, or risk everything and see if I can do it and finish the level. I was like, what? And like, I tried it. Like, I held the controller in my hand. I could not get past the beginning of the game. Like, I could not get past the 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 first demon, whatever that was. It had all these like gooey looking black moldy monsters with pikes or lances and stuff, and like it took me forever. And I was like, I really really like this game, and I couldn't get any farther, so I watched him keep playing it, and it was so much fun to watch. And he would die, and I would laugh, or I would scream with him when he's freaking out. It was one of the best nights I ever had, man. And I think he stayed for like 2 days or 3 days when he came over. And dude, like it was so amazing. And we ended up deciding that I should get the game as well. So for Christmas, I asked my parents, because I was like 15. I was like, Dad, Mom, can you get me a PS3 and Demon's Souls? And at the time, I mean, we could afford things like that. And my dad and mom did it. And it makes me emotional because that PS3 means a lot to me. I'm looking at it right now. I still use it. And I got it for Christmas. And also my aunt, Michelle. Oh my God, I love my aunt. She got me $100 gift card to GameStop. So of course I go to GameStop too, and I end up picking up a few games that were used. Heavy Rain was one of the big ones I really, 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 really wanted. Uncharted 1 and 2. What else did I get? Was that it? I feel like I got something else too. Well, anyway, whatever it was, I liked it a lot. Was it Ninja Gaiden? Sigma? I think maybe that's what it was. Because he brought over his PS3 one time before Demon's Souls, and it was Ninja Gaiden Sigma. And I wanted that, so I bought that too. And I ended up loving my PlayStation 3 more than my Xbox. I got like Dead or Alive 4, I think it was. Or maybe it was 5. Yeah, it was 5. Played the living hell out of that, and I played Street Fighter on that. Got the arcade stick, like an expensive one, and I just used my PS3 for everything, really, because I just thought like the games were better, but honestly, they ran worse most of the time than the Xbox 360. But either way, I just loved the way it felt. I loved the menu. I ended up getting like a bunch of games for it over the years, and I still sometimes get games for it. Like the last game I got wasn't too long ago. It was Armored Core 4 Answer on there. I found it at a retro store, Steel Collectibles, and it was just so cool to get this. And I sat in front of my TV in the family room anyway, the family room TV, and I played Demon's Souls, and I spent 2.5 hours, and I finally beat the boss to the first real level, and I was so proud of myself, like so proud. And I ended up getting like really far in the game. It got to the point where like I didn't know how to do anything, and Scott called me one day. He's like, dude, I found a glitch, and he taught me how to duplicate. And so I finished the game, but I didn't really finish the game, you know what I mean? But then within a few months I hear about Dark Souls, and when the game came out I ended up pre-ordering it. I got like a steel box and the strategy guide hardcover, and I played it all the time. And I died so many more times than I did in Demon's Souls. Granted, I never really learned how to play the Souls games because I duplicated everything, and that included my leveling with the Souls. Like, I just duplicated the Souls and I leveled a bunch of times. And then one day, Dark Souls 2 was announced. And keep in mind, I never finished Dark Souls, but I always kept starting over, and that's all what my friends did. Like, they usually came over and played Dark Souls. They had it too. Like, we all played it. Like, all my friends. Like, we were, well, Matthew, me, and Scott, we all played it. three of us. And then Dark Souls 2 was announced, and I pre-ordered it again, uh, and got the steel bookcase and the strategy guide again, the soundtrack, all that stuff, the statue that it came with, and that one I beat. That was the first one I ever beat without cheating or anything like that. And then Dark Souls 3 came out, Bloodborne, and it all just started becoming overwhelming. And then Elden Ring came out, and I somehow finished that game, and I ended up playing it with Zero, and we lost our lives with that game, and then it was time. It was time. One day, like I said, we were playing COD. We were thinking about Dark Souls 2 and how we want to finish the Let's Play, and like, well, I don't really feel like editing it right now or making more videos right now. Do you want to play Dark Souls Remastered? And he's like, yeah. And I was shocked because he wasn't a big fan of the first one. Not really. I mean, he loves it, but he's not like, oh, that's the one I always want to play. No, his favorite is 2, and he knows 2 like the back of his hand. He can finish that game in like 6 hours. So he finished Dark Souls 1 Remaster, and I finally beat it, and it was like my whole life. I understood why Scott played it over and over and over, why Matthew played it all the time, why Matthew was so invested in the PvP as well. Like, he got to the point where he was making these crazy builds and just killing players and stuff like that. And because of Elden Ring, I fell in love with the PvP, even when it's cheap and stuff and not fair. I still love that. I still love that feeling that I defeated a player. And then before I finished Dark Souls 1, I finally went back and played the remaster of Demon Souls, and I finished that on my own, like the whole thing. I was so proud of myself. And like, now we're almost done with Dark Souls 2 and 3, and then we're going to be doing the New Game Plus stuff. So, yeah. And we're going to do Bloodborne at one point as well. If that's even possible to do co-op. Depends on how hard it is to do. But, dude, like I said, Dark Souls has been on my mind. It's been helping me so much. And I commend anybody that deals with stuff and finds something that helps them get through it. Because, like, I know I'm not the only one that struggles with stuff. I know I'm not. I know there are people listening to me right now that are like, I do too. And my thing is this. Or, you know what? I need to do this. I need to do that. I'm going to do that tomorrow. Like, that's beautiful. This series has changed my life. Has gotten me through so much. I've been really struggling. I've been like really struggling. And I needed something. And like Mega Man wasn't doing it. I played them too much. Nothing was really doing it. I used to play WoW. That wasn't doing it. But sorry, I have heartburn, but Dark Souls did it. Dark Souls, I still remember. Dark Souls, prepare to die. Now I just wish there was another Dark Souls. You know? Magic in a bottle, man. Or lightning in a bottle. I mean, it's beautiful. It's one wonderful game. And to think that Demon's Souls, when it first came out, did poor. They only sold 20,000 copies in Japan or in the West. 20,000. And then because of YouTube, people imported the game, which means they bought the Japanese version and played it on their PS3 because they could do that with their PS3. Like, they had a Japanese PS3 or something, and they were making videos and talking about the game. And then, like, GameSpot and, you know, these reviewers and stuff end up reviewing the game, and they were, like, the game was critically acclaimed. And then people started understanding. Even Sony, I think the director of Sony or something like that, someone The president maybe of Sony, I don't know, said like this game is horrible. This game is so bad. But like everybody like eventually realized what it was and how beautiful and amazing it was. And you know what's crazy? And I'll wrap it up at this. What was crazy is even though they got the game out and they didn't get all this um like critically acclaimed stuff, all this support yet from I guess America, I guess it was. Before all that, they were already decided, okay, make Dark Souls now. Make another Souls game for Bandai. To think that they did that, despite all of it, that's beautiful. And then Dark Souls blows up. Thank you From Software and Bandai and Sony and anybody that helped make these games. Thank you. I speak for a lot of people. These games mean a lot to us. That's it. Anyway, you guys take care. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful night. If you fell asleep listening to this, sweet dreams. Catch you later.